Matches are on. No, they would not. Now they are. Welcome back, everybody. How are you doing today? We're going to talk about something this time of night because, well, I feel like it, and it's cooler, and I can get a chance to speak to you, and I'm not going to basically sweat like a dish rag. Although that's not entirely accurate. I'm already sweating and hot, and let me turn on my monetization today. So yes, turn that on. Set the rules of monetization engagement. Okay. Um, so let's open up the pop out the chat so I can read that as well. Yes, indeed. So pop out the chat so I can keep an eye on the chat because we all know that the Restream IO does have a chat icon box, but it's kind of hard to see it sometimes. All right, so let's turn on monetization. Let's turn on the auto mounter. Isn't it funny that the auto mounter doesn't automatically default on here? It's just really weird. So let's turn this on. What's milking for everything it's worth? Let YouTube take care of it. Uh, Balanced. That's fine with me. I don't care. Let's see. The rules regarding monetized regarding shared live chat replay. I want that on. I want anyone can chat. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you. That's fantastic. That makes it a lot easier for me. All right, so this is a show we are doing um because we can. And it's late at night. So by the way, time you guys get this will probably be like the next day. Or watching the chat later on. Let me just pull the chat up on the screen here. Okay, great. So now I can see it on the screen too. Um, so what I wanted to get at is that I was watching another video on another channel, and they were pointing out that YouTube has changed the rules of engagement. Now, what that means is when they say they change the rules of engagement is that they're saying something like the following: is if you are going to be engaging in video content, the way that they're going to do it now is I'm trying to get me its frame. Here we go. Is they are saying is what counts now as views is people who are engaging in content. That is people who are reading your comments, watching your videos, commenting with other people, liking or disliking videos, subscribing. This is what they're talking about engaging views. This is what they want to see more of. They want to see less of the passive ones. The passive ones being the guys and gals who just sit there like they're watching TV and then just going zoning out and not really engaging in live streams. We're talking about live streams specifically, not so much videos. Videos, it's a little harder to do the engaging thing in real time. Now, is it portrait or verticals? Or verticals, however, have a problem, which can be a good or bad thing, which is you can flip through all the verticals on your screen and see them all. And that counts as engagement. Well, no, that just counts as telling you that the person is live. How you doing, Gaming Fairy? Welcome to the show. Um, yeah, this is actually what they're talking about. Is just Gaming Fairy just demonstrated that she showed out to me. She said hello. That is active engagement. That is what YouTube wants to see. So active engagement is not just. I'm trying to get my face in the screen here. It's not easy to get that out. Unless that's the problem. Portrait is that craps the screen up so much. I gotta get real close to read the chat, and so when I do that, my face gets cut off, and I can turn it like this, but that doesn't help either because all that does is then you can see my hair and see my ears, and you can't really see me. Yes, I know they can. absolutely they can see verticals much easier because YouTube has been featuring them more than they do the regular. But I want to talk to you guys besides what this other channel is talking about, which is true. For verticals, what YouTube is looking for is active engagement, which is what you guys are doing right now. You're actively engaging. You're chatting with me. That is active engagement. That is what YouTube comes of you, not the passive guys that just stare at the screen. Those ain't pass. Those aren't active engagement. Okay. Also, YouTube right now has easily beaten out Netflix and other streaming media site as being the most number of people watching content on YouTube. It's beating out Netflix, it's beating out Disney Plus, it's beating out Paramount Plus, it's beating all the other numbers because people are more engaged on YouTube than they were on the other numbers. No surprise. It's very simple. YouTube needs to remember that they are growing their channel because people are watching content on YouTube. So now what happened to this UAI slap thing? Well, a lot of AI sub channels are still monetized. Okay? It's the channels that are doing the very worst of the worst. They're not focusing on content and creating nothing. They're not working on making content that is unique or special, using boilerplate, just using the same old blah, blah, blah story, just changing a few words over here and there. Those channels are the ones that are likely to end up being demonetized. Please note, demonetized is not banned. If you win your channel is because you're demonetized, you're banned. No, that's not the way it works. Demonetization is not being banned. Okay? So if you are demonetized, you are not, your contract with YouTube for the YPP is terminated, but your channel is not. Remember the great ad apocalypse of 2017? Yes, it's the same deal. You will still be on YouTube. You will not be thrown off the platform, not unless you do something really grievous and really, really violate terms of service or the copyright guidelines, which is different. Okay, so we're saying don't worry about that. You're not going to be thrown off the platform just because your channel is demonetized. It's not going to be the end of the world with you. If you really, YouTube, what they'll probably do, especially channels that are bringing a lot of clickbait, viewers are going to simply just say, we're keeping the money for ourselves and you can zip. Which I guess is, yeah, they pimp them out. Hi, Brain, how you doing? Hi, Fairy. Okay, more views. Yeah, well, let's see. Right now we have 8 actual views, according to my application here. It shows actually 8 active, engaging views. Engaging views of 8 here on Studio Restream.io. These are the views that bring in money. It's not the passive ones that just fly by night. Those don't count anymore. For most people. Now, in the case of videos, however, that might be a little bit different because obviously to click on the video, you are engaging. You are actually selecting the video to watch it. So, yes. Sure, why not? Meaning, who said I have to be? Who said I can't be live at every time? It's cooler right now. It's 24 degrees Celsius. It's cool enough now. It's not as hot. So I'm gonna be cool streaming when I feel comfortable, and it's cooler, and I'm can focus on the topics at hand. Next topic is what was it like to work with my therapist at BetterHelp? Well, first of all, she is a very nice older woman. She's black. I don't care if she's black. I don't care if she was green. She just happened to be a good person, and she really, really listened to me, and she understood the YouTube paradigm. And she said to me, Michelle, listen, do not let your viewers try to gaslight you into something you don't want to do. If you know it's not going to work for you, You obviously been on YouTube for 14 years. You have a pretty good idea what's going on, and you know what you can do. So don't let anyone gaslight you into a corner. Next thing is that today we found out that Gidgey decided to. I want to see what this button does. It doesn't do much at all, Michelle. No. Okay. No, it doesn't. Oh, that shrinks me down. No, I want to be big. All right. So today, Gidgey was covered by pickles and mustard on Locale Queens, as I saw on my uh, Discord, which no, thank you. I wouldn't want to have someone throw mustard and pickles on me. I'm not a hamburger. I'm not a hot dog. Keep the pickles and the mustard on your hot dogs, not on your friends. Okay. I don't know why she did that. All right. Next thing is she agreed with me that since I have been planning responsibly, and she didn't see it as a problem, that even though I am multiply handicapped, and said, well, since you obviously would like to establish your own home, it looks like you've already been doing the research into the legwork, into what is available for you, you are planning ahead accordingly to be a good candidate for trying to go through different programs for home ownership. There may be, she suggested, the autistic or Asperger's Network of New England. It's called ANNE. ANNE. Also, she said, check out programs to Autism Speaks for people on Asperger's autism. If you need help, they have programs that may help you with possible assistance to get in. Also, many counties have agencies that will help you if you are low income or disabled to acquire a home, especially in smaller towns or where there's a lot of land available and they want to grow the populace. I was thinking about places like upstate New York, which tend to have a lot of vacant properties that you could probably get. Yes, Long Eddie, I'm talking about you. Where you can probably get the land from the town and for virtually a low price, but the requirement is that you're going to agree to work and renovate it, rehab it, rebuild it, whatever, and live there for a period of time, which is the option I could do. I don't have any nail polish right now. David, screw it. Okay, it was boring. I'm pointing out something that's important to me and probably to some people as well. This is not the broadcast that you wanted. This is the broadcast I needed to do. Okay? Very big difference. This is not necessarily the fun stuff. But, as I said at the beginning, which will bring it back to your fun stuff. Because of new changes to the policies for shorts, you need to make sure to get people to engage people in your shorts. You need to make sure that they're chatting, they're liking, they're subscribing, or yes, even or even disliking content. This is what it takes, and it counts as an engagement. They're going by engagement views more now than just people will just see you when they're flipping through the videos. So you want to get more views, Noodles? Now you know what to do. You got to get more people to engage. That's what we have been doing every morning. I bet raising over 1,000 donation Gidgeys. Some dumb pickles all over. Yeah, probably. How much is it going to cost to clean the rug? That's a good question. How much is it going to cost to clean the rug? Hello, Stand Master. I got pickles and mustard all over my rug. How much is it going to cost you to come in there with your steam cleaning machine? Oh my God, no. This weekend we're working on something together that's different, Noodles. It's not this weekend. That's this weekend. Okay, what does he want to do this weekend? This weekend he wants to do something that we can do here, which is with the tarot cards and things like that, which we could do here with tarot cards right now. But let's talk about the weather or so. By the way, this weekend is going to be hot, pretty mild. It's going to be about 25 degrees Celsius on Friday and Saturday, and so it's going to cool down. And it's going to be more pleasant. And we can do, as you can see, we're doing a vertical right now. I don't know. YouTube even said this counts as a vertical, even though I'm only streaming at 720p. Why can't I do 1080p? Well, I can. You can. Yeah. But for a long time, you couldn't do 1080p, so you never reached that for 1080p. That's why you never did 1080p. Right. So, but you could do 1080p. Hell, I can do 4K now. Yes. I just don't have a camera that does 4K. It's not my season, Mimi. I don't have control of the weather in the summer. Did you not come in? Not yet. Is he happy? Because Michelle is happy. And no, she didn't need it coming. No, then I'm happy because the therapy was great, and the fact is that we finally got this chance to talk to somebody and explain. And she had to agree with me about the YouTube side of thing and then toxicity. And the fact is that I also had a chance to just relax and watch videos and doing something that I'm normally doing at this time of day, which is reaching out to everybody. So like I said, Gitchy's probably gonna have a hard time getting in contact with the rug cleaning company to clean the rug because of the situation. But if that's what makes her happy, I guess that's fine. You know, just is that, I guess. Um, Justin reached out to me. But he said, "How do I?" He said that he was interested in the original show idea, a survival show idea. But he wasn't sure if he necessarily wanted to work with Noodles. I said, well, nice. He said, well, Justin, you're going to have to work with Noodles, right? Because he has to pick you up. He has to bring you up to where we are going to be going to do this if we did this. And then David S. Ringland came up with another concept, which was even a little more doable and accessible regarding everyday life. It's not quite exactly different than what we do now. This more or less is following two autistic people as they deal with everyday life stuff. And it would be a serial and a reality show. It would be going through everyday life. Yes, I'm happy again because I'm very happy that the therapy did help. They did get rid of the clown, but we still got a ways to go because it's kind of only like a little bit of a help, but it was still a help. The most important thing is that the therapist said to me was, don't let those people manipulate you. And also, since you are very systematic in planning, if you really, really want to have your own little cottage on a piece of land, you've already researched out to a lot of it. Like a black flies all over her because the door's been open. You already know what you need to do. So she said, if you reached out to the different programs to help with possibly finding housing and things like that, I said, well, the first thing is I'm not sure exactly where I want to go because there's been There are some states that do offer their counties programs for housing assistance for the blind, disabled. Um, they can get an inexpensive prefabricated home, even a tool shed, like from Lowe's, that can be dropped on the lot and set up so that you can begin to renovate it to a home, depending on the county and the town's rules of housing codes and state codes. You could be moved in within a period of weeks. Once you begin the process of uh, filling in or finishing the interior of in the case of a the tool shed with insulation, installing the appropriate electrical and gas lines and water lines, sewer. And I'm going to use an outhouse compost toilet because it's less likely to get clogged up with my shit. uh, can you can live in a tool shed? Actually, renovated, totally fixed up one. Yes, you can. People do that. They do buy the tool sheds, the nice ones from like Lowe's or Home Depot, and then when they're rough like that, and then they'll insulate them and put the electrics in, the gas in, the phone, the internet, insulation, and then they will go ahead and get the occupancy permit after it's inspected, and boom, there's your home. Yeah, there are people that do that, and it's. But now I just found out that Timu, yes, the Chinese, TUMU, have houses for sale, and I'm not talking about tool shed grade, but they do have those too. But we're talking about houses, including one for $19,000. $19,000 is a room house that comes in on a box truck, and it's a big flatbed, and they drop it down, and then you unpack the house, and the panels come out and they're bolted in place. And what's nice about this is it can be assembled in a day, and they can be the wiring specifications are available for US, UK, China, New Zealand, Australia, EU, so you can have the wiring the way you want it. So you can get houses like that for as low as $10,000. That's not the land. The land is obviously going to be important too. So you can look for, like I told my therapist, as I said, oh yeah, you can get cheap land, but when you look at the requirements, what it is about the land that makes it so cheap, you find that it's in the middle of the sticks, and then there may not be access to a public accessible road, or you're landlocked between multiple properties with no public road access. So supplies like garbage removal, heating oil, propane, food, you have to go through someone else's yard, and depending on what the policy is, they may not want you to have access to that. So that's something to keep in mind. No, I'm actually in my studio. Yeah, she's in her studio, guys. I'm in the studio. Yeah, I'm in my studio because if I was on the porch, I'm in a blue. I'd probably show up because it's too late and people downstairs would have been crying and yelling and stuff, but the lungs shut up. So I'm in my studio right now. Yep. No, that's not the inflatable shed. That's something else that Timo has, but this is not that. This is a house that is actually got galvanized steel panels and foam inner walls that is available. Um, I don't even know if it meets fire safety. I'm gonna be honest. Anything from Timo to me seems like a red herring. I think if you're gonna do that, I think you might as well just go with Lowe's or Home Depot, then go with Timo. Um, Or you can even get housing from Amazon. Amazon, of all places, sells housing units. Again, little mini houses you can buy. They'll deliver by truck. I don't think the truck is free, but if you've already got a piece of land, they'll drop it off. You have to figure out how to put it together. Kind of like an IKEA jigsaw puzzle. Good luck. I'm doing better, Margot. Thank you very much. Um, my regular spot. You have to buy the land. Yes, there you go. Because I certainly ain't gonna rent it. No, 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 no. Oh, God, no! Don't rent land. That's what happens with mobile home people. They thought, oh, guess what? I'm gonna buy this mobile home in this park because it's cheap, and then they find out that the landlord of the property says, well, you know what? I'm sorry. Everybody has to move your mobile homes because I'm selling the land for development to somebody else. So you got 90 days to pack your mobile home up and get out. Mobile home is not exactly easy to move, and you need to be aware of that. So mobile homes take a lot of work to move to get them out of harm's way. Yeah, not exactly a good thing. No. Um, and the deal, we all buy a tiny home and put it on the same land and start it coming. Yeah, that's a possibility in areas where land is cheap, and that some people have done that. Yes, some people have done that. We have thought about that too. Some people have said, let's say, for example, oh, I don't know, maybe like 5 acres of land. You could probably buy in some areas, like in the middle of the sticks, for like maybe like 6, 7. I mean, real time, real cheap now, which means real problems. But we'll just throw numbers out. Let's just say $10,000 an acre, right? So you got 5, 6,000 acres, 50, $60,000. You got 5, 6 acres of land, and then everybody can go ahead and set up their little mobile homes or travel trailers or whatever, and depending on the zoning of the community. And that's a great option. But I wouldn't expect it to be something you can live in right away. First of all, you're going to need to get water somehow. You need drinkable water, so that's not a minor detail. So you got to find a well. What are you going to do with sewage? How much of an out? How many outhouses do you need? How large of a septic system? If you're going to have a septic, um, it's going to be at least 100 foot away from the drinking water supply, which is the reason why I think Lake Eddie would have been a big red herring because Lake Eddie was also on the floodplain. Given the fact that drainage was terrible when Stan went out there and it hadn't rained for a couple of days, tells me that would have been very badly likely be full of mold and mildew, and nobody wants that. Not me, and it's certainly not your buildings, which are going to suffer from dry rot water damage. Well, yeah. So what do you want me to do about it? Hmm? What do you want me to do about it? I don't want to think about it right now. I didn't expect I was going to do a large show. So, sounds like something Slingshot Warrior would love to be head of security at. Probably. I haven't talked to Slingshot Warrior about this idea. Originally, I was going to do it for me. But then again, people like that don't have cars are going to need to do something different because they're going to be very dependent on other people. No, there's no trip planned yet. Non-lethal subductions will be necessary. I don't know. I, I wrote Slingshot told him to reach out to Michelle um, for that trip autism thingy. Yeah, he got back to me originally. Um, and first he had questions because he thought it was Noodle's idea originally. I said, no, it was my idea. And then he kind of changed his mind. He said, yeah, you know what? That would be kind of interesting. So, yeah. So, we need to learn the ways of wolf security. Well, wolf security involves using hunting in packs, right? Well, anyway, so tomorrow morning is going to be a morning show, normal show. And like I said, my therapist said to me, is Michelle, don't let anyone on YouTube try to gaslight you into thinking that you're stupid or you're lazy. She said, I already can see it. You're not lazy. You got a brain on that head of yours. You're already planning this ahead. You're already looking at the realities, what needs to be done, given the fact you have multiple handicaps. You're not just going out there on a tangent. You actually sat through and researched everything. I said, yeah, but I have to admit, cheap land is probably going to be in the middle of the sticks or it's going to be landlocked. And or the conditions are going to be brutal. For example, Kansas. If we go to Kansas, Kansas has an advantage. One, lots of land, but it's hot. It's very hot. It's windy. Okay, but the land's cheap. A lot of towns Kansas are abandoned. But the problem is, at the same time, there's nothing out there. Only two towns have any activity at all: is Kansas City and Wichita. That's it. Those are the two major cities in Kansas. So if you're going anywhere else, good luck. Okay. Um, I mean, it's hot, it's windy, and it's miserable in the summer. And in the wintertime, it's a plain state. So it's going to be freezing cold. It's going to be coming in like a freight train from hell. Uh, Same thing with North Dakota, Bismarck. It's freezing. Same thing with South Dakota. It's freezing. You're going to be possibly going to freeze to death if you don't got a good solid plan. So that's something to watch out for. So I'm talking about for me, if we wanted to do a group thing, that'd even be more important to decide where the group would go. Here's a link to the Discord. Okay. No, she didn't. Shush. Okay. I have to go and get some supplies tomorrow. Our game competition starts in 20 hours. Galaxy Week says click your red heel 3 times. And tomorrow's brain's a little ankle biter. Okay. Um, Whatever. All right, guys. So for now, I'll see you guys in the morning show, 10 a.m. like usual. I think Chris Plus is gonna have the show before mine tomorrow again. This time I did a portrait stream. I know it's kind of late at night. Noodle suggested I do one tonight. He originally wanted me to brag about how we're gonna do some great changes on Friday. And I told him, I said, let's just keep it as an elemental surprise because things can change at the last minute. You know how the internet is around here, and so we'll reach out to new people and talk about new things. And I also will try to turn on 1080p. Why you don't even use 1080p in your regular streams? No, I know I don't. So why do you need 1080p on these? I don't. Okay, there you go. Yep. Okay, so tomorrow morning, guys, morning show. And let me slide this out because I can get to the end screen buttons up there. And I'll see you in the morning, 10 a.m. normal time. I already have the stream already set up ahead of time. For those of you who don't know that, I always set it up the night before, so it's all set to go. I just got to go ahead and click the start button. And that's why I decided to do it. This one is because let's keep saying, go vertical, go vertical, go vertical, go vertical. And this, YouTube said this counts as vertical. So there you go. So we did vertical. Now we can actually compare the numbers. And we ran ads because, let's talk about that real quick. YouTube is starting to use their mind. They're starting to think. Allow me to explain. They're starting to realize that lower thirds and side ads make more sense, especially for live streams. Because the live streams with the lower thirds make the most sense because they bring in advertising revenue. Some people may click on them, some people may not. It doesn't really know how it can work. But also, don't forget, even during these streams here, you can still donate as well. As was demonstrated by Duckling. Thank you very much, Duckling. I much appreciate that ever so much. Thank you. And she just demonstrated, thank you. So yes, donations do work. And no, I didn't. I just feel better. No. Nothing funny about that. Yeah. It worked. It really worked out really well. They do have also group therapy programs too, which I'm eligible to use as well. I'm gonna see if I can find the group therapy programs that are specifically, see if they have anything for us, people in Asperger's or autistic spectrum. Because I think that would be helpful as well. Well, right now we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. So, everybody, tomorrow morning, yeah. Now you're gonna spend how much money trying to clean the floor of your apartment with Stain Master or Service Master for cleaning up pickles and mustard? Good God. Well, that's disgusting. Okay, that's just disgusting. All right. So tomorrow morning, I will see you all, and so let's go ahead and you want to run the outro? Yeah, I can run the outro. Sure, let's run the outro. Let's run the outro, right? Why not? We can certainly do that. Let's go.
Michelle and Maria Lumi, I will always be there for you. Michelle, never stop believing in yourself. Go out there and show the world what you can do. Go kick some ass and have a good time doing it. I love both of you so much. I love how far you have come on YouTube.
In the samba's embrace, she finds her way. Twisting and turning, she won't let things sway. With love for the music and fire in her soul, she dances through life, her heart in control. She won't give up, she won't sit down. In her purple dress, she twirls around. With every rhythm, with every beat, she conquers the floor, she won't retreat.